creating a news report. So what I've done is I've summarized the essential parts of what you need to do to have a successful news report for our English 9 class. I will put this video on our website as well in case you need to refer to it later on this evening when you're doing some homework or whenever. So the first thing that you need to do is to do some research. So find a story and research it. Now only take about 10-15 minutes to do this. Find something, don't get too picky, just find something and then start taking notes on it. When you're taking notes, it needs to be on the 5 W's and how, because that's what a news story is about, is the essential information. The other thing that you need to do is find possible pictures for your news story. And what you need to do there is record the URL, because that's going to go into your T-script so that we can find the pictures really quick when you're ready to film you. So again, only spend about 10 minutes on this. Don't get picky. Jot down some notes. Make it quick. Okay, next thing. Step 2. What you need to do here is to write your story. Now this should take about 20 minutes, half hour at the most. You can do the good copy at home, but so that you can get going, I would definitely spend no more than 20 minutes, half hour at the most. Anyway, your lead paragraph should have the 5 W's, and I have handed out a couple handouts that have the inverted pyramid diagram. Please refer to that because that's exactly what you need to do. The remaining paragraphs refer to additional information, and specifically you need to answer the questions how and why. So that's step 2. Again, 20-30 minutes, no more. Step 3 is the actual writing of the T-script. And I'll show you an example here in a second. This should take about 20 minutes, 30 minutes as well at the most. Basically, when you're doing the T-script, it's organization of how you want the filming to go. So the first thing I would do is I'd fill out the middle column of the T-script. In fact, I'm going to provide you with a T-script this time around because some kids are having a hard time even making the diagram. Anyway, break down your news story into manageable chunks and write that into the T-script. And what we're looking at here is 1, 2, 3 sentences. Break it down into those smaller chunks. Once you've done that, insert the pictures that you feel are applicable when the reporter is speaking. And again, I'll show you an example of what that looks like here in a second. And then, of course, the last thing, and this is the planning part, this is what separates the good newscasts or the news stories from the not so great ones, is about how to make it interesting. So do you want a zoom in of someone's face, or do you want to pan across a group of people, or pan across a view of some sort? Okay, so I'll just show you an example of one, and like I said, I'll give you a copy of this, but I'm going to take out the written part. But anyway, like I said, do the audio part first, and that is where you take your news story and break it into smaller chunks. So there's my little chunk right there. The next thing is, once you know what each chunk is going to look like, so here's another sentence, another chunk. And then, of course, down here, another sentence, another chunk. That's what that should look like. Now that you've got that sorted out, now what you need to do is figure out which pictures or what visuals need to go there. Now, for you guys, you are going to want to put the URL in here as well, so that we know that which pictures go where. And then, of course, we put the URL here as well. And then, of course, down here. And if you don't know what the URL is, that's the web address. Okay? Once you figure that out, then what you need to do is figure out what camera effects you want. So is it going to be a voiceover? Now, we've already determined that voiceovers aren't the best, But for this news report that I borrowed from CFJC News, they do a voiceover. Okay. During this small little shot that I'm going to show you, this is going to just have a shot of the presentation. And then, of course, close-ups of both a female and a male student. So let's take a look. This little section right here is like, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Let me just take that.
Parts of it were nearly hard to watch, but silent and mesmerized, students at Twin Rivers Educational Center were shown the real effects of impaired driving.
So that's the first little bit. Now let's go back to our T-script. What's the next thing that's going to happen? Well, the reporter is going to say this, and this is the visuals that you're going to see. So a portion, basically parts of the presentation you're going to see. A continued voiceover of the reporter, and then of course a regular shot of the presentation again. So let's see what that looks like.
Damages depict the event leading up to a tragic night of drinking and driving. Students followed justice.
Again, let's take a look at what the T-script has. So the next section, this is what the reporter is going to say. This is what's going to happen now. There's a little bit more stuff going on here. There's going to be a shot of the students watching the presentation, and then we're going to look back at the presentation again. Okay. In the meantime, voiceover again, and then of course the shot of the students. And notice that I'm quite specific. Okay, we're seeing them in a seated position. Let's see what that looks like.
His decision to drive impaired, the horrific crash that placed his sister and seriously injured his friend to the courtroom where he faces the repercussions.
And then it goes on and on. Okay, but actually let's just take a look here. That was about 30 seconds of video, and this is what the T-script looks like for those 30 seconds. Okay, and that's how detailed it is, and it just makes your life easier if you plan ahead. And then I go on, and then there's some other stuff that goes on. This news report's, I don't know, about a minute and a half long. Okay, so what needs to be handed in tomorrow? A news story and your T-script, and we will start filming tomorrow. Now, if the only other issue that we'll have is how are we going to enlarge your work? If you want to type it out or not, you don't even have to type it out. If you want me to use the photocopier and make it bigger for you, it needs to be done by the end of class. Okay, or emailed to me sometime this evening. And that's basically the only things I can think of that could be an issue. Basically get going. I'm going to give you the entire class and get to it.